Happy New Year, everybody, from Doubleheader. And you know what time it is? Weekly picks. And this week, we're going to discuss who's going to the playoffs and who is on the bubble, and what teams got eliminated. So stay tuned, folks. Well, here we are. The regular season finale is upon us, Keenan.
Yeah, but first of all, it's New Year's Eve, the last day of 2024. Wow, can't believe we're at week 17 recap and we're getting towards the end of the regular season.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. And this year went by fast. This season went by fast, and it's just hard to believe tomorrow will be 2025, and sure enough, by the time Sunday rolls around, it'll be one week of regular season where a lot is at. Going to be a lot of things are going to be taking place. So, but first we got to start with week 17 because that was where a lot of play teams. Some teams were able to make the playoffs. Others, well, are going to get a just so much from Adam Sandler. So, having said all that, which I know you like that one. Let's start off at Christmas Day. If you all had Netflix, assuming it didn't glitch, you got to see two games, starting with this one in Pittsburgh between the Chiefs and the Steelers.
The Chiefs and the Steelers facing off on Christmas Day. And I have to say, kind of disappointed by the outcome.
Well, disappointment might be right for the AFC because guess who's got home field? Well, I know these guys are disappointed, that being the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's Travis Kelsey, who became the all-time leader in Chiefs history in tight ends with touchdown receptions and paid homage to Tony Gonzalez by slamming the ball over the goalpost. Hope it doesn't hit you in your bank account, Mr. Kelsey. As for your quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, no turnovers, three touchdown passes, and then Mike Dana, who's not pictured here, he had two sacks. And oh yeah, Andy Reid, I know you've had a Merry Christmas as he rocked in the Santa outfit. And Chiefs fans, well, you've been singing this beat all year long. And
And
perhaps,
what a way to rock the Santa Claus outfit, Mr. Reed. That was cool. That was really cool to have a little surprise and to have a little fun in the locker room for sure.
oh yeah, and I correct myself. That is Mike Dana sacking Russell Wilson there. So I did have a photo of him. Speaking of Mr. Wilson and the Steelers, to ad lib the line from Dragon Ball Z, Steelers, you have doomed us all. This is bad, very bad.
Yeah, they have slipped tremendously over the last few weeks. I think this is their other. I can't remember if they're on a losing streak or not, but I remember at one point that they only had three losses on the year, and I'm saying like, oh, this might be the year that they could do something, and all of a sudden they're sort of in the middle of the road, middle of the pack, and not looking too hot.
Nope, they've lost three games in a row, and Steeler fans, they got a lump of coal on Christmas, and we're saying this. Oh, you stink!
Yeah, so a very tough outing, three in a row, 3 game losing streak, I might say. Steelers, this is not what I mean, I sort of pictured this, but I didn't know it was gonna be this good, and starting to look that way.
And the Mike Tomlin haters, yeah, and detractors and critics, they were out in full swing after this game because now Steelers, who were once upon a time in first place in the AFC North, are now in second place and move on to her next game because guess who took advantage of that? The Baltimore Ravens. What a domination win that was in Houston.
Oh, yeah. Remember that word I said earlier, disappointing.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I would have to describe these two games right here. Disappointing outcomes from both teams, and of course, one of them got on the winning side and got Christmas presents under the Christmas tree.
Well, yeah, Baltimore. They had a great performance offensively and defensively. I mean, Lamar Jackson still making case for MVP, two touchdown passes and one on the ground, and Derrick Henry 27 carries, a buck 47 in a TD, and Ravens defense. How about this? No points allowed. So yeah, you get definitely have that group celebration over there. So happy late Jolly Christmas to the city of Baltimore and the Ravens, and a there we go. Mm-hmm.
And get this, folks. Lamar Jackson has 39 touchdowns and four interceptions so far this year, despite having one game left.
Oh yeah, so his chances of MVP are looking good. There's someone who's got a say in the matter. Two people to be exact. We'll get them shortly. As for Houston, yeah, we have a problem. Santa came to town and delivered a lot of coal.
Yeah, and cue the Luke Combs on Houston. We got a problem as well. Man, it was by, by this game. By the start of this game, it wasn't even a contest, and you know, they got 2 points on the board. That's more of a basketball score, folks, not a football score.
Yeah, and LeBron James had a message to send to the NFL that the NBA rules Christmas. And, LeBron, I will agree with you there, but the NFL said, heck, we're having success on Christmas. What the heck? We'll even put it on Netflix. It won't conflict with you guys yet. And NFL won the ratings battle somehow.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was like 14 million or some sort of number like that. Yeah. Um, very unforgettable Christmas Day games, and I'm not really gonna remember these games from 10 to 20 years from now, which is unfortunate because you expect to remember these types of games on special days like this.
Well, Chiefs and Ravens fans are going to remember it. And you're a
Yes,
Steelers Texans fan. You would want to get some, want to have a memory with.
exactly. If you're the other 28 NFL teams, that you're definitely not going to remember what you saw on your television screen and on the streaming platform on Netflix, like you said, Amir. And I think on Netflix their flowers. They did really good, really great actually on streaming the games, and they didn't have any internet issues as far as I'm concerned. No outages, no nothing like that. So let's give them a big front round of applause.
Hmm.
Good job, Netflix.
Yeah, especially with given what the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, the debacle a month ago, so they bounced back from that. As for Houston, and we didn't get about, and yeah, Bikini Bottom's got a message sent to you guys.
Oh, you stink!
Hmm.
Big time, big time. That deserves two of those Amirs.
Oh,
So let's do
yeah.
that again.
Oh, you stink!
Oh, yes.
Yeah, a double. No, let's make it a triple. Let's make it a triple. Let's do it one more time.
All right.
Oh, you stink!
There we go. So, oh, I don't know how the Texans fans were throwing stuff out onto the field, like we talked about in our Cleveland Browns episode a while back. So,
They're not feeling too good, given that the playoffs are coming up and their team's not playing like a playoff team or division champion for that matter.
no, they're not, and it's just hard to see. And you gotta pick up the pace right now. You gotta forget this game has ever happened and move forward. And speaking of moving forward, our record's a mirror so far. Well, you're 1-1 and I'm 2-0, so not a bad start.
Oh yeah, and yeah, Houston definitely want to burn the tape. So moving on from Houston, going to the next day, the final Thursday night game of the year. And if you didn't watch it, I don't blame you based on the score you see right there.
Yeah, definitely some. I was able to watch a little bit of this game when I got back from my other job, but yeah, really low scoring, and we got them right. So That's something. The score, however, doesn't reflect that.
No, but you like defense. Well, this is your game. Leonard Williams had 2 sacks. Reek Rowland had an interception that sealed the game, and well, caught the eye of Jailer Gator 9, who needs to say the Bears can't get out of their own way or get the media off their backs. Well, given they lost 10 games in a row, how can you get the media off your backs? We'll get to the Bears shortly. As for the Seahawks defense as a whole, 7 sacks. So, Seattle, you kept your playoff hopes alive. So that deserves a any bottom. There we go. Oh yeah. Seattle again, you're still alive, but we will. Will you be in it? We'll touch base on that shortly. As for the Bears, well, don't worry. This season that did not live up to the hype will be over soon. Give it 8 more days, or at the time of this recording, 6 more days. Or anywho, the Bears, yeah, you've been hearing this a lot this year, or that's in games.
Boo! You stink!
Mhm.
Yeah, same song, second verse for the Bears the last 10 weeks. So it's just been a disaster from starting from that first loss, from that starting from that losing streak, and it hasn't stopped. And the bleeding keeps on coming, as they say.
Oh yeah, and then, excuse me, I know James comes to math, but at the time it would be their season would be over in 5 days. Yeah, five
Yeah,
days. Want to make
yeah,
sure.
5 days because of the 31st. One, two, three, four. So the last day is the fifth. So yeah, 5 days.
Yep. So anywho, Seattle will touch base with you before this segment ends. But moving on from that, I don't know. That snooze fest on Thursday night. So yeah, it's kind of snooze fest for the home teams. Good day for the road teams so far. Will that trend continue? And yes, it does. LA, excuse me. Oh man, you won almost a decade of being the Patriots in the last 2 times he's faced them. He came out on the winning end.
Well, the winning end is correct. And before I forget, the Patriots hold the number one pick in the NFL draft this coming off season.
Yep, at the moment, because we still got 1 more week left to play, and you'll understand why. And as we get to the Sunday slate of the games, folks. So getting to the Chargers, well, they are going to the playoffs. So it's on slide C's right here.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me one bit. Good job for is it
Yep, Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh coming back from the NFL from college and hasn't really skipped a beat.
No, he hasn't, and he's turned the culture around in LA and helps it with Justin Herbert, who's widely having an MVP campaign. I know he's lost several with Lamar and Josh and Saquon, but he had another MVP type performance. He touchdown passes, two to the lad McConkey, who is, I'd say, making a case for MVP or rookie of the year, excuse me. He had an 8 catch, 94 yards, so passing an ounce total for most yards and receptions by the Chargers rookie wide receiver. Thank you. And Jordan James, I mean, who's been the stalwart on this Chargers defense, 2 sacks and 2 tackles for loss. So it's LA with that dominant importance in Foxborough that deserves a. Sometimes you just need
And
that
before I
Thanos
mean,
snap and this everything works out.
yep. And before we move on, the stats for Justin Herbert this far, because we have one game left, folks. 21 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and good golly, that's like pretty similar to his uh, completion percentage from last year, which is in 2023 he had 65.1, and in 2024 he had 65.0.
Oh yeah, so I mean, heck, I know he hasn't had the playoff success or wins, but he has a chance to get earned his first playoff win as the four Chargers are playoff bound. As for the Patriots, who were once upon a time could make the playoffs in their well, please. Well, times have changed in Foxborough because Mr. Rob Mayo, who's knows a thing or two about playing on playoff teams, well, he was hearing a different beat or tune on the way to the locker room.
Boo! You stink!
Yeah, it's been nothing but nothing but uh what's demolished trash all year long from New England, and it hasn't been good the last few seasons ever since Brady left New England, and it goes to show that having the right combination with Brady and Belichick can really change things.
Oh yeah, and it's just and they're I don't think he's gonna get fired, but Patriot fans are saying fire Mayo as the game drew to a close. But and I don't really blame him. The team got put up a listless performance, but yeah. But either way, congrats to the Chargers, Patriots. Better luck next year. And then, like I said before, playoff bound for LA. So
Yeah,
next next on the Saturday triple header. Spy was on NFL Network for everybody and the local stations and where you were at. We went to the most entertaining one between the Bengals and the Broncos.
oh my gosh, what a game, what a finish. This game had everything.
Yeah, it had everything from a close finish to coaching, clock management issues, as January tonight highlighted for both coaches. And oh yeah, Bengal fans fight their winning streak when Zach Taylor fired. Can't satisfy anybody in NFL these days. And I nearly got the score right in overtime if they just made the field goal.
Ah, so close, Amir, so close, and one of these days we're gonna get the scores right, and we've been saying that for the past 17 weeks now. We still haven't gotten it fully right. We've been so close, but yet so far on these scoring outcomes, and that makes things interesting that we decided to do that in our picks the last few years. But man, I was at a basketball game when this game was going on, and then I mean, at one point during the basketball game, I had more interest in watching the Bengals play on my phone than seeing what was going on the basketball court. And man, I'm glad I was able to keep up with some of the stuff that's going on late into the game. And Bengals, um, you hang on the similar margins, and Denver, you're slipping a little bit as well, my friend.
Yeah, Bengals, you're still alive for the playoffs. I mean, I didn't see a possibility at the beginning of the month when you're 4-8, but you said, heck with it, we're going to run the table, and so far, so good. No, it hasn't been. It's not. Fans will, or is when not Zach Taylor when the band's over, but Joe Burrow has, and Marchese and T. Higgins. I mean, Mr. Burrow having an MVP caliber season. He won't win it because of the Bengals record, but at 412 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, all going to T. Higgins, who had 11 buck 31, and Jamar Chase 9 catches for buck 02, excuse me. So having said all that, Bengals isn't saying who they for the fourth week in a row. UK Day. Mhm.
And get this, folks, Joe Burrow, 42 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the season, and they're peaking at the right time, and winning the last four in a row.
Oh, they are, and as for Denver, you had a chance to really step the picture in stone for AFC, but now, I mean, you're still alive, and you have the rights to the last wild card spot, but now you gotta wait till this Sunday to clinch it. And as Billy Madison said, well, That's Charlie Brown, but Billy Madison would say you blew it.
Yeah, and it would be the biggest loser board if you're the Impractical Jokers team.
Oh yeah, oh there's gonna be a big loser because someone didn't take advantage of this opportunity. But we'll get it's not the extra city's not far from Cincinnati, but we'll get touch on them shortly. But yeah, Denver, oh man, yeah, you slipped in the last two games. So, but either way, entertaining one at Paycor Stadium nonetheless.
Agreed.
Mm. Moving on from that one to the last game of the triple header, rather a low scoring affair, but LA got it done, that being the Rams.
Yeah, you know, Cardinals. I'll say this about Arizona: they always find a way to hang, to hang around throughout the season and make them competitive. And at one point, they were leading the first place in their uh, respectable division.
I mean, yes, they were, but that's no longer the case as the Rams as they have fallen on hard times. I will say this: Trey McBride finally found the end zone and went over 1,000 yards in this game. But I say he'll be a Cardinal next season. Kyler Murray, on the other hand, that's debatable because he threw two interceptions in this game, and Cardinal fans were saying this to Mr. Murray.
Oh, you stink!
Mhm.
Well, let's look at the stats: 17 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, and a completion passing percentage of 68.6. Not bad, but could be better.
Yeah, not bad. Could be better, but fortunately, in his 6 seasons with the Cardinals, I mean, he's only made one playoff appearance. Hard luck came on this same field, and it was a forgettable one. And of course, had the injury following year after that, and it's been up and down play the last 2 seasons, and this year being an example of that. Again, they were 6-4 going in their bye week and sold us in the first place, and now they're out of the playoff picture altogether as of last week in Charlotte when they got eliminated here in Charlotte. So it's like, is it time for a change in Glendale? Maybe.
Maybe I just think maybe they can keep building and probably get some maybe some more offensive weapons, more defensive weapons, more offensively. I think their defense is fine, but their offense probably needs a little bit more work.
A little more work on the offense. I mean, they got weapons on there: James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Trey McBride. So it's just more consistency at the offense on the offense side of the ball for
Yeah,
Arizona.
yeah. I was like, just a little bit more. Their defense is not that bad either. I mean, 7-9. You know, that's nothing to be ashamed of. That's not like what Carolina's been doing or Dallas or New England. So.
Oh yeah, and as for the Rams, well, you got done. You're 10-6, and you're first place in the NFC West, and after overcoming a 1-4 start, and your defense has stepped up right in the right time. I mean, Kello Witherspoon clutch intercepts in the end zone to seal the game. Brandon Fisk had 2 sacks, and the lone bright spot on offense for the Rams is Puka Nakua, who's had a great first 2 years in the NFL, had 10 catches for buck 20, and as I said before, 10-6, one step closer to the NFC West title. So having said that, LA, it's wow, good day for you for Charger and Rams fans. So having said all that, here you go. Mm-hmm.
But not too shabby. Pretty close game overall. But um, maybe we should be a little bit better on picking the score mirror because lately I've been noticing a pattern where it was going to be high scoring and this hasn't been the case the last few weeks with these games. That's been happening.
I mean, not gonna get it right. I mean, not score right all this year, but obviously, uh, things happen in these games. Look at the game before that, man. I almost got the score right, so it's hit or miss.
Yeah, definitely.
With that being said, so what we covered Christmas, Thursday night, Saturday. Let's move on to Sunday. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Oh, speaking of happy days, Philadelphia. Wow, they're singing happy days there at the link or somewhere on those lines. Because look what we have here: NFC East champions.
The NFC East champions once again, and the Dallas Cowboys are not going to be in the postseason as of last week. But look at that score, 41-7, and definitely has not looked good for
Yeah,
Dallas.
no, no, they tied the game up at 7, but after that it was all Keely Green and at Lincoln Financial Field. And keep in mind that no Jalen Hurts in this game. He sat out due to concussion, and Kenny Pickett had to started, got to a shaky start, to get scored, throw 2 touchdown passes and score on one on the ground. And and when he got knocked out, the Eagles turned to another backup, whose name escapes me at the moment. Let's see here.
Lance.
Not Trey Lance, for that was the who did come into the game after the Cowboys. This game was well in favor of Philadelphia. It was Tanner McKee. There we go.
Tanner McKee, yep, who got his first passing touchdown this game.
Yep, and hey, you're gonna throw your first touchdown pass. Why not AJ Brown?
Yep, the guy who's been the high powered of his offense all year long, besides Saquon Barkley.
And since it's touched on Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley, sir, are now part of the 2,000-yard rushing club. So congratulations, sir.
Hmm.
Jake, and Austin Wright embraced during the moment with his offensive line, which is a big deal for them. Providing him the holes for the running back, and also Devontae Smith on the end zone twice, and TJ Gardner Johnson, who got sorry, went to bounce back, sir, after being disqualified from the game in Landover last week. I either respond or bounce back, have 2 interceptions, and take one to the house on the Cowboys' first possession. So, and which really set the tone for this game. My brain doesn't want to work once again. It's very blurry, but either way, like I said, it was all Keely Green and the Eagles fans. Oh, that's the way we like it. Also, first time since we were in middle school, the Eagles left the Cowboys. 2011,
Yep, we were in was it seventh grade, Amir?
8th grade.
Eighth grade. Wow. Uh, I thought it was seventh, but eighth grade was the last time uh, the Eagles swept the Cowboys, and the NFC meeting this week with Scooter Magruder should be a fun one.
I know Eagles Scooter's gonna be grilling Cowboys Scooter. And he's got it. He's licking his chops right now as we speak.
Yep, and you gotta love Giant Scooter for sure because he's just chilling back, waiting for something to happen because they're not in playoff contention at all. And hey, but get this. Well, we'll get to them in a second, folks.
Oh yeah, we'll begin to turn down the turnpike shortly. But for Eagles fans, that Philly cheesesteak tasted pretty good on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And you know I love Philly cheesesteak.
There you go. As did the Krabby Patties.
Mm-hmm. That too. But you're gonna be eating a bunch of chum there, Dallas.
Oh yeah. By the way, this picture was taken by Smiley and Poole, and well, the Cowboys are not smiling in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you stink!
Yep. Off to the chum bucket with ya.
Oh yeah. So anywho, congrats to the Eagles. Cowboys, yeah, don't worry, your season will be over shortly. Speaking of seasons being over, excuse me, Colts, what's something wrong with the score here? What's going on? And I don't see you. Well, I see one Colt, but where is everybody else? Oh, you see the
I
logo
see.
too.
I
But
see a bun. I see a bunch of blue, and I see one, two, three. I see one, two, three on the bottom, and when one, two on the top, and I see a bunch. I see a bunch of white in the background, but it's a bunch of the Colts players staring at their celebration. We did not see this coming.
no, I didn't, and I don't believe Eli Manning, Victor Cruz, Odell Beckham, Saquon Barkley were on this Giants team. No, it was Malik Neighbors having a great season. And Drew Lock, who I don't know was run out of town by the Broncos organization a few years back, and he looks like Eli Manning.
Yeah, they definitely did look like what's his name, Drew Lock. Kind of looked like Eli Manning of old.
Oh yeah, and well, he put up Eli Manning type numbers. Yeah, 17 completions on 23 attempts for 309 and four touchdown passes. Yeah, that's not a misprint, folks. He threw four touchdown passes and only had six incompletions.
Huh. Well, and get this. I mean, he's only gotten 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions this entire year.
And four which came in on this past Sunday.
Yeah, that's insane. That is insane. And speaking of insane, 45 points, Amir. 45.
Yeah, and this is the Giant team that had well, I heard on by Pat Boyle on because I was out and about and doing things, had only 34 points scored combined in the last four games, and it's like and hadn't won a game at home all season long, and then they figure, well, we'll save the best for last. And oh yeah, by the way, Giants, your team played their way out of the first overall pick. You know, one of the guys at Gridiron Game Day said it'd be a blessing in disguise. We'll see how that works out. Say a few years down the road for the Giants, we need a quarterback who,
Yeah,
who
we
I
don't
don't
know
know
what
who that's going to be.
we don't know. Yeah, we don't know what the situation is going to be in New York because of Daniel Jones's health and Drew Lock coming off the bench. Excuse me, and we just, I mean, more questions than answers, really.
Oh yeah, and but I do know one thing. Malik Neighbors is a keeper, 7 catches for buck 71 and two touchdown receptions, and surpassed OBJ's rookie record for receptions. And Amir Smith Marset, by the way, he spelled Ihmir. Yeah, he really sealed the game with this second half kickoff. But the first time they had a kickoff back for a touchdown since 2015. So Giants fans who's in 100 this season has been forgettable. Well, they had something to cheer about finally at home. So this has been long overdue for you guys, at least for home fans, that is. Oh, and also get
And
this: this is the first time all year long that MetLife Stadium has seen the home team win on Sunday too.
that is a crazy stat. I mean, another thing after another, and then after another, and after another, and after another, and what can you say? I mean, congrats to New York Giants, and as for the Colts, Amir, I don't see another file here, but we can surely say, the boo you stink for sure.
Oh, no, don't worry, Colts. I forget about you guys. Because
Oh, there it is.
guess what happened? And Mr. Madison, what you like to chime in on this?
You blew it!
Yep, that sums it up pretty well, Mr. Madison. And um, if I and I remember using that picture in a previous episode. I do remember that, and I am sad is correct, and I'm disappointed in Indianapolis for sure. And Amir, they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, because Nick Fury also said to their folks that's some BS. And yes, Nick Fury, that was some BS from the guys from Indianapolis who needed to Mr. Ballard, your time in the knee is up, and so is yours, Mr. Bradley. Because as Bill Mountain just said, okay.
You blew it!
Yeah, so you blew it. This is not what it's meant to be, I guess. And this is the what this is the third year in a row they missed the playoffs.
Fourth year in a row.
Fourth year in a row. Either it was three or four. I just had to clarify, and you clarified for me, Amir, so I appreciate that. But oh boy, I got nothing else.
Yeah, yeah, and it's time to move on from the Colts and time to move on from several key people, including someone in the front office that I just mentioned. So moving on from that, excuse me, let's go to Bourbon Street, and we're wasn't black and gold, but silver and black.
The silver and black, and didn't interesting score of 25-10, Amir. I think my prediction was a little bit closer.
Yes, it was. Mine was not, and yeah, it was no party on Bourbon Street for the home team, who once upon a time had some momentum when they hired Darren Rizzi, but that has since cooled off as they reverted back to the Saints of old when former Raiders head coach Dennis Allen was done the headset.
Yeah, and I did not expect to have the Raiders. Actually, I'm reading that wrong, so forget my comment.
Yeah, well, I will say for the Raiders, I mean, they won their last two of their last three trips to the Superdome. One which came with Derek Carr as their quarterback. I mean, it's hard to believe thinking that that was only like 8 years ago when he had that thriller game on opening day of 2016. As for this group of Raiders, Brock Bowers, who I say is a keeper, he is now the most yards by rookie tight end in NFL history. Guess who held that record? Previous
Uh,
record, Keenan.
is it a quarterback, right?
No, it was a tight end. So
Tight
tight
end.
ends.
Was it Max Crosby?
No, Max Roberts on the defense. So you got to think tight ends here. So
Oh, tight end. For the Raiders, right?
well, in NFL history, I should say, not Raider history.
NFL history. I don't know. The only person that's coming up is Max Crosby, but that's wrong. But I have no idea.
Well, former Saints head coach and Bears tight end Mike Ditka.
Mike. Oh yeah, Mike Dick. I've heard of that name before. Yeah.
Yep, he did that in the era when tight ends were more known for their blocking. But yep, Brock Bowers best Coach Ditka for most receiving yards and for rookie tight end. So he's a keeper for Vegas, and also Amir Abdullah. I don't know what it is. So the last two slides, you tell some people who have my namesake, but spell it differently. He had 20 carries for a buck 15, and Aiden O'Connell, what will they turn into the lineup? Excuse me, 22 yards passing, two touchdown passes, no turnovers. So Vegas about calling Oakland again. So that's how we got in. That's how I know him. I haven't heard a lot of these, but the last 2 weeks you've earned it.
Yep, and it's the first, and it's the last time they actually made the playoffs was the 2021 playoffs, that being the Raiders, which was against Cincinnati.
Yeah, and that seems like a long, long time ago for Raider fans.
And I just had to look it up because I just couldn't remember the last time they actually made the playoffs for one because they've been struggling the last handful of years now.
Yeah, they've only made two playoff appearances since their Super Bowl nightmare against Tampa Bay at the end of the 2002 season. As for the Saints, they haven't made the playoffs since 2020 as well. The last time the Colts made the playoffs. Well, they did have a trick play that went to former Raider Foster Moreau, but no party on Bourbon Street on this past Sunday.
Oh, you stink!
Yeah, it's been ever since that Dennis Allen firing. It's been kind of up and down, but it's been mostly down the last 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, I mean the last two games I scored combined to 10 points. Of course, all those points coming in this game you see right here. So moving on from that, I don't know, from Bourbon Street to Orchard Park, where it was. I see a lot of "Let's go Buffalo" moments here, and rightfully so.
Let's go Buffalo, and it wasn't even close. 40-14 was the actual score of this game. And Amir, you won the battle of being the closest, so I give you props on that. But man, just I mean, the Jet season can't end soon enough.
Yep, and I have it right here on in Google Docs. Just end the season. Well, Jets, your season will be over next week or in 5 days. Oh, and since the Jets, hey, Aaron Rodgers. Well, you have you might reach the 500 touchdown mark this Sunday, but didn't hit it. But that was not the case this past Sunday because well, you threw two picks, got you're seeing ripping your receiver at you threw a football at his knees instead of his hands, and you got a flag for necessary roughness. Huh, what did they do for you, Mister Rogers?
Yeah, and take a look at his stats, folks. He has 24 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and that's actually not that's actually better than I expected.
Yeah, stats look good, but don't tell the whole story. But yeah, unfortunately, Mister Rogers, you also got benched in this game.
Bench is not good, and um, yeah, if you look at the score here, folks, 40-14, and Amir, you can go ahead and hit that button right there, and Jets, you've been singing this tune all year long.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you stink!
And on the other hand, for the Bills, 13-3, doing what you got to do. Fucked up a spot in the playoffs already, so that deserves a.
Oh yeah, I mean, plenty of cheers to go around. Josh Allen, who's making the case for MVP, threw two touchdown passes. So in this game, Charles Severs, his only catch of the game, and was a highlight reel, 69-yard touchdown reception first of his career. And he's the 13th different Bill to have a touchdown reception on this season, which ties an NFL record. A lot of records are being set or being tied this week. And AJ Epinesa had a sack for a safety in this game, and then Jordan Phillips another interception for the big guy and Matt Milano fumble fumble recovery. My brain is not working all of a sudden today once again. And well, the Bills jumped up to a 40-0 lead, and by the time the Jets reached the end zone, that was this game was well decided. So Bills, who by the way are now locked into the 2 seed, could this finally be the year to get over the hump? Well, I hope so. I have them get into New Orleans, but certain team in Kansas City is going to have a say in the matter. As for the Jets, well, it's they're going to be watching it from home from when the playoffs start. So, anywho, moving on from Orchard Park to Jacksonville, Florida. Boy, you were close on this one, Keenan.
Yeah, I was, and I was really close. I think this is probably the closest I've been in quite some time. The 21-14 was my prediction, and the actual score was 20-13. Oh man, it was. I knew it was going to be some sort of interesting score, and well, at least I got the winning team correct, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I'll say this was better than their matchup in Nashville two, was it? Yeah, 2 weeks, no, 3 weeks earlier, which also won by Jacksonville. So, having said that, Brian Thomas, 7 catches for 91 yards and a score. Mac Jones, buck 74 and 2 touchdown passes. So, Jacksonville, who was also fan appreciation day, well, fans definitely got their money's worth.
I think I realized something too is with the audio too, it just takes about 3 seconds to load in. So if you wait about 3 seconds, it'll probably you know, that's just my theory on that. But anyway, enough about theories.
Yep.
Tennessee, yeah, you've been singing that tune, the same song and dance, pretty much since week one.
Yeah, it's around later from the Music City, but it was very quiet on the last Sunday of 2024. Not yet, Panthers and Bucks.
Oh, you stink!
Yeah, so got really nothing really to say because there's nothing really on the line here. So let's just move on.
Good idea. So we're going to stay in the Sunshine State. And well, sun was shining once again for the other Florida team, that being the Buccaneers. Giving my all of the pictures you see, because I barely see anyone wearing. Well, actually, there's one player side of the Panthers player, that being Mr. Bryce Young, but this was not on him. This was on his defense as well. Can't stop anybody, much that happens with Panther opponents for I don't know forever.
Yeah, since the David Tepper era. But yeah, if you take a look at that underlined score, folks, 48-14, that is because pretty much our starters wanted to be shut down.
Yeah, this is yeah. Well, Panthers did make competitive early in the first half, but after that there was nobody in the Panthers uniform on the scoreboard. It was all if you wore a Bucks uniform, you can do no wrong.
Do no wrong is right, and the only touchdowns that came from Carolina was Adam Thielen.
Amazingly, he scored the last 3 touchdowns against Tampa Bay. He had to get go ahead and Sunday after Thanksgiving. That was unfortunately all for naught. But
Yep, I
anywho,
remember that very vividly, and once again, I thought we were going to win that game, but nope, Buccaneers had other ideas. But back to this game. Um, anywho, um, let's look at Bryce Young's stats going into the last week of the regular season. So Bryce, let's see your stats. Let's see. Okay, so 12 touchdowns, nine interceptions in his second year. So better, much, much better. Having more touchdowns than interceptions. So slowly and surely improving, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Bryce Young come week 18 for sure.
oh yeah, he'll be playing Week 18, and albeit in a spoiler role. As for the Buccaneers, well, they got some help later tonight against the Panthers' upcoming opponent. So, and seeing Tampa Bay, well, Baker Mayfield, another great day at the office, 5 touchdown passes, 2 wins to Mike Evans, the other one's Jalen McMillan, and Mr. number 51, Mr. J.J. Russell, really turned the tide in Tampa Bay's favor with a block punt for a touchdown. And then Bucky Irving, well, Kansas receivers can't stop anybody. He gave 202 yards on the ground and 113 from you, Mr. Irving. So yeah, it was a fun day at the current sombrero. So Tampa Bay, fire the cannons. There we go.
You know what's funny is that if every time they make a field goal, 3 cannon shots have been lifted.
Oh yeah, and well, there's a big pirate ship at Raymond James Stadium, and well, they were firing the cannons all day long there. And for the Panthers, yeah, let's just get out the way.
Oh, you stink!
Yeah, so I didn't know the starters were gonna be out, and Chuba Hubbard's basically done for the season. From the time being, nothing too serious, but better be safe than sorry at this point.
Oh yeah, and well, yeah, better safe than sorry. Which, that's probably putting it kindly, Panthers. But Buccaneers, well, you have nothing to be sorry for because you won in convincing fashion and get that bad taste out of your mouth from that regrettable day in Arlington. So moving on, let's move on to the late slate, and well, the Sunshine State had trifecta because well, all 3 of their teams won this past Sunday. Well,
Yeah,
granted, it all had to do it on the road and rain in Cleveland.
yeah. Let's just keep this short and sweet. Yeah, Browns have a lot of explaining to do, and yeah, you can just hit that button, Amir.
Oh, you stink!
Yeah, it was just they kept it close throughout the contest in the third, and all of a sudden, you know, it was a touchdown that happened. It was like it was pretty much done for, and oh man, it's just been a nightmare, pretty much since Windermere. I can't really remember.
Well, since the season started at home against Dallas, and yeah, Browns need a quarterback in the worst way possible, like not getting rid of Deshaun Watson because of contract reasons. Yeah, that's worked it out in you guys' favor.
No, and thanks for the sarcasm, Amir, but it has not worked out in the Browns' favor. And I don't have any quarterbacks to look up at the moment because backup basically playing at this point, and we haven't seen much of DTR this season despite the last few weeks. And I don't know. And as for Miami, um, they've they've turned it around quite a bit.
Yeah, because you guys are still alive for the playoffs. And heck, you guys win, Denver loses, you're in. Well, your defense played playoff football at a pick, fumble recovery, allowed 1 field goal, and buck 70 yards through the air, and also Tyreek Hill went over 11,000 yards receiving in his career, which is even my he's been playing 8 years, and I don't know why I didn't put the three hip hip hooray in there, but either way, still gets 3 cheers. So we'll just here you go. And no, that was kind of not the best way to
Yeah,
do it.
but yeah, but hip hip hooray, hip hip whoop dee
Oh boy,
doo, hip hip oh boy.
boy.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, then again, this game was kind of like, yeah, kind of you miss it when we missing on anything. So, but
Yeah, so let's just move on quickly before we
yep.
get into another tangent. Oh, one more thing. Shout out Miles Garrett for being the youngest defensive player to reach how many sacks, Amir?
100 sacks.
100. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
100 sacks. Yep. He's
and
been a bright spot for this Browns team, which
yep,
in
and
this
let
forgettable season.
yep, and let's move on. Let's
Yep.
wipe the whiteboard down, and let's get to an exciting, whew, hold your breath moment.
Yeah, hold your breath indeed, because Minnesota got to a 27-10 lead, and looked like that game was going to be all she wrote. But Green Bay made it close in the last two drives. But Sam Darnold, and he's having an MVP type season. I mean, and had an MVP type performance for 377 and three touchdown passes. One to Jalen Naylor and the other one to Jordan Addison. So and also in the locker room, it was a victory shower for him because he tell he's a little soaking wet, but enjoying himself a minute. And he's had got tough career, but he's found himself a home in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I really think this is the team where you're gonna see Sam Darnold for quite some time now, and he's still pretty young too. Still pretty young, and looking at his overall stats before Week 18 begins, we have 35 touchdowns and 12 interceptions on the year.
Yep. So, well, maybe not MVP, but should make the Pro Bowl, which they should be revealing the roster at the end of this week. And the other touchdown pass went to Cam Akers, which was late in the third quarter, which put Minnesota ahead 27-10. But then Green Bay had a late comeback with getting close, making a um, two 2 point game when Jordan Love found Lee Keith from 3 yards out. But after that, they couldn't complete the comeback, came up short. So, team days end, Viking fans are saying this. Yep, and Packer fans, well, they were one boo you stink, but it was close, but not close enough.
Not close enough, but hey, still looking pretty good, and for both sides, and nothing really to say on that matter.
Nope, and and this keep this game back of your head, folks. So we touch base on it once again, but now moving on to the Sunday night game, and before we begin, we will have to address. I mean, before they kicked it off, they did honor former President Jimmy Carter, who was from the Atlanta, Georgia, was rooted for the Falcons, and also attended a few Washington games during his time in office. He passed away that night at the age of 100. So I'm sending condolences out to the Carter family.
Yeah, and what a what a tremendous life living up to the age of 100 years old, which is unbelievable, and yeah, what a great tribute that Atlanta or that Washington did, and as for this game went into overtime in dramatic fashion.
Oh yeah, and it took to overtime to do it, but Washington they got it done. And you wonder why you see a lot Jack Ertz and the money bags and money fine falling from the sky on this graphic. Well, in this game, he had 6 catches for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he, with that, had a $250,000 signing bonus for catching 60 receptions, 600 yards receiving, and 6 touchdowns. So in total, $750,000 in bonuses. So he cashed in big time this past Sunday night.
And it came in a clutch win for Washington, and it helped their playoff scene as well. And as for Atlanta, with that Tampa Bay win against Carolina, it make things a little more difficult.
Yeah, and well, we're moving on to Raheem Morris. Jaden Daniels, 24 for 36, 227, 3 touchdowns through the air, and also had 127 yards rushing, which has RG3's total for most rushing yards by a rookie quarterback and by our Commanders quarterback. and Ama Sakias, 8 catches for 85 yards and a score. So Washington, we get us. Congrats. Yep. And with that victory, going to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. What a turnaround! What a turnaround this season. It's been unbelievable. I would say my team of the year is probably these guys.
I would agree because not much was expected out of them, but that's all the NFL. You just never know what's going to happen season to season. As
That most
for their
definitely.
opponent, the Falcons, Raheem Morris, yeah, not calling timeout on that last drive of regulation. That's probably going to be the reason you're watching the playoffs from home in a few days.
Well, they're not out of it quite yet, but things could still change come week 18, which we'll get to in a few minutes, folks. But um, I was right, and if you're a guy, oh, I don't know, that picked other than Atlanta to win the NFC South, you're in a good mood.
Oh yeah, and also speaking of being in a good mood, but that being clinching the division. So, just in the Commanders making the playoffs, LA won the NFC West due to strength of victory. I remember someone X posted this. He needed the Bills to win, Browns to lose, and of course Commanders to win for that to happen, which that did. And by the way, that Commanders Falcons replaced Dolphins Browns for Sunday Night Football, and say very good choice because that game was a thriller, and when Cleveland was a snooze fest for the most part. As for LA, you're division champions, and for Seattle, you have been eliminated. So no playoffs for the Seahawks for the second year in a row.
Yeah, it was a tight battle, for sure. I don't think I had Seattle making it, but it was awfully close.
Yeah, it was awfully close, and they got to a good start, but they had that losing streak towards the during the middle of the season, and then they unfortunately lost 2 games in a row after they had sole possession the first place once upon a time, and now they uh, no, they won't be. There were no signs that come playoff time. So, having said all that, moving on to the last game on the Week 17 slate, rematch of the 2023 NFC Championship game, and well, the Lions made up lost time in both from that game in January and early on. The Niners, while they were long eliminated, gave their opponents a run for their money.
Yeah, it was awfully close, and I was watching the end of the game here where I am now, and shout out to Enrique Garcia from Box Grotto from Rain Fantasy, because they you needed a little help from the Lions and didn't need George Kittle to do too much.
No, man, when I got like big day from Jared Goff, who threw 3 touchdown passes and passed for 3 yards, and Jameer Gibbs, buck 17 on the ground to score, and Jameson Williams had 2 touchdowns, one receiving and one rushing. And here's a string stat line: he had 5 catches for 77 yards, 2 carries for -2, and yeah, I had to double check that to make sure I wasn't seeing things on ESPN.com, but yeah, but still had a touchdown on the ground nonetheless. And then Kirby Joseph, who having a Pro Bowl season, had 2 picks in the game, and one that really turned the tide in the Lions' favor in the third quarter. And the Lions wasn't pretty, but they're 14-2 and tied for first place in the NFC North. So it's going to set up interesting showdown at home this Sunday. As for the 49ers, I mean, Brock Purdy, I mean, he had a 377 through the air, 3 touchdowns, but had 2 picks and had to come out late due to an injury. And what's his name? Ro- he was on the Vikings roster, Mr. Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs, excuse me. He came
Joshua
in the
Dobbs.
game
Yep.
for the touchdown and gave us the final score. But fortunately, Mr. Jake Moody, you earned the ire from 49er and NFL fans alike because you missed 2 extra points and a field goal, and also just nonchalantly just flubbed the onside kick. And so, having said all that, yeah, they were saying this. And yeah, it summed up the Niners season that has well been one to forget.
One to forget, and well, at one point they were looking good, and all of a sudden they've fallen off a cliff.
Oh yeah, and as a result, they'll be watching the postseason from home. And as I say that, I went 13-3 for the second week in a row. You went 12-4 for the second week in a row. So hey, you matched your record total. So there's that. So
Yeah.
we managed to match our record total, but we still got one more week left. We can still. I have faith that we can finally get a score right. So
Most definitely. And looking at the AFC playoff standings here, it's gonna be fun. You know, we got some teams that are still 8-8, looking for to be in that wild card position, and um, which we'll get to in the second half of our show. And as for the eliminated crowd, yeah, enjoy your time off, get some things together, and yeah.
yeah, and also keep in mind that division leader stands has changed. The Steelers are now in second place behind the Ravens. The Steelers are 11-5. Steelers 10-6. AC is home field throughout, so a three-peat seems inevitable, but hey, anything can happen. Bills locked in the 2 seed. Texans are locked into the 4th seed because they can't jump past the Ravens. And now the Chargers, they're going to the playoffs where the Colts, they'll be watching from home. And Dolphins, they have a chance to leapfrog the Broncos depending on how things work out. And games we'll touch on in our next segment. As same for the Bengals as well. As for the NFC, well, different changes as well. LA, winners of the West. Seattle is knocked out. And Buccaneers are back on top of the South, where the Falcons they still get in, but of course need some help from their opponent. We'll touch on the next segment as well. And also Commanders and Packers, they're playoff bound and locked in their playoff spots. And oh yeah, the number 1 seed in the NFC still up for grabs. Of course, the Vikings and the Lions are 14-2, so don't mind this graphic right here. But either way, we'll touch on their game in our next segment as well. Week 18 is right around the corner, and what's to say? I can't wait for it. So stay tuned, folks. All right, folks, we're back, and what as you see it by the screen, Week 18's here. Finally, to the regular season, and well, still a lot of teams to sort out in terms of the playoff picture. A lot of teams looking for division titles, seeding, and also some spoilers on draft position as well. So let's start with the AFC. As you saw on our previous slide, not obviously some changes, but it's always going to change once again by day's end because except for the 2 NFC North games, everything's going to be on Sunday. So Thursday night and Monday Night Football is this week. So that goes over for the year for that matter. So having said all that, there will be games on ESPN. It's our first game between the Ravens and the Browns. So who do you have, Keenan?
Well, just to get this out of the way, let's say 27 for Baltimore and 10 for Cleveland.
All right. I'd say the Ravens will not have a repeat of the game in Cleveland Sunday for Halloween. So I say they win this one convincingly as well, 31-10. Excuse me.
Yep, and our betting odds, we have our betting odds back up in order with the Browns at plus 1,000 and the Ravens minus 2,000.
Yep, and Ravens take care of business. They win the AFC North for the second year in a row, and also betting odds were put back in for last week after I had to go through the transcript on YouTube to find them. So thank heavens for that.
Most definitely. So minus 2,000 once again for Baltimore and Browns plus 1,000. So there are your betting odds once again, and we have another blue ribbon on our next slide.
Yes, we do. So, but just in case the Browns have an encore that Sunday for Halloween with James Winston, well, Pittsburgh could win the AFC North. So, but keep in mind, Bengals they're playing for playoff spots. If they win and things work out in their favor the next day, they can qualify for the postseason. So, who's going to win this game here, Keenan?
Oh, I've been doing some thinking, and I've been doing a little bit of research, and I just think Pittsburgh will bounce back, but it's going to be close. I'm going to say 34 to 27. Yes, Pittsburgh wins this.
Well, they did have a high scoring affair the Sunday after Thanksgiving, so and plus lots on the line here. So having settled that, I'd say the Steelers will get it done. Bengals, you had a good run, but unfortunately, you'll be watching the playoffs at home for the second year in a row. And Zach Taylor,
Yeah,
you might be looking for a new job. Please, the fans in Cincinnati want you out of there. But anywho,
yep, too little, too late if you're Cincinnati, in my opinion. But good run nonetheless. And speaking of runs, we have the betting odds: the Bengals minus 125 and the Steelers plus 105. So Bengals, you're in the driver's seat this week.
oh yeah, I mean, keep in mind the Steelers have lost their last three games, and the Bengals have won four in a row. So, but as we can tell, we're picking Pittsburgh to win, it will be in Pittsburgh. So now that wraps up for the Saturday slate. Move on to the Sunday slate. Well, Jaguars, you wanted to rub it in the Colts fans once again. Why not? It's been anyone can win that division. It's like break the Colts' hearts, like doing out of style.
Yep, Jacksonville has the Colts number the last few years, and I don't think that's going to be the case this time. Whoever's going to be starting at quarterback, I think will most likely be Joe Flacco again. And I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people think. So I'm going to pick Indianapolis to win this one, 17 to 17 to 10. Excuse me.
All right. Well, last time they met, it was a high-scoring affair, which is a Joe Flacco start, and Mr. Alec Pierce had a big day, but Colts can't do what they Duval Hex, but this is in Indianapolis. So Colts, I mean, I'd say it's gonna be close because your defense, well, it's cost you big time all year, as last week in the game that will be evidence. But try to go out on a high note.
I mean, why not, right? I mean, 8 and 9 is nothing to be ashamed of, despite being eliminated. Yeah, it's just been kind of a roller coaster ride for Indianapolis, and I mean, we don't know what the future is going to be looking like for the Anthony Richardson club. So
Well, they're gonna need to fix up the defense for sure.
mhm,
That's
most definitely, yeah. And looking at the Colts betting odds minus 230 and the Jaguars plus 195. So hey, they're on the driver's seat of this week. That being Indianapolis.
being that they play in Indianapolis, that's on the Indianapolis 500. So moving on to the other AFC South matchup, and Houston, you need some momentum going into the playoffs. And keep in mind, the last time you played Tennessee, that was actually the most recent win of the season and an upset victory in Houston. So Texans, I would assume you might be resting some starters, so get ready for the playoffs. But don't want to go in the playoffs on a losing streak.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 24 Texans and 10 for Tennessee for some odd reason. I just think it's going to be that way, and it's an even slate for the betting odds for minus 120. So expect a lot of these playoff teams, uh, wrestling most, if not all their starters this week. Okay, they want to be ready for the playoff run, and same goes for Tennessee. I mean, they have nothing to play for either, and or play for per se. So I mean, we saw last week with Carolina resting some of their starters to get healthy for next year. I wouldn't be surprised of that. So that's my take.
Yep. And speaking of resting starters, I know the Bills will be doing that because they're locked into their playoff spot, but they would like to go in with momentum or on a good note. So,
Yeah, give me 37 to 7 actually. High scoring not Patriots, but the Bills have been finding ways to win these types of games and getting it done and convincingly in high scoring margins. So for the Bills, they're minus 145 and the Patriots plus 125. So there are your odds right there. And yeah, it shouldn't be even close in my opinion. And if it is, I would be very surprised by
and when they met this 2 weeks ago, it was Bills are 14-point favorites and won by 3, but hopefully that won't be the case this time. So moving on to a late AFC game, which will be on Fox. So Dolphins, then how things work out. Day 4 in Pittsburgh. Well, you still be fighting for the playoff spot nonetheless, because we'll be touching on any games shortly. But you win, and that game goes in your favor, and that being one in Denver, you're in. So Dolphins hopefully won't take overtime to beat the Jets this time, but you should beat them rather handedly.
Yeah, I don't see Aaron Rodgers going this week. I would say Dolphins win this one 28, and the Jets will have mm, 14. I like that 14 score, to be honest.
All right. Well, either way, the Dolphins win this one handedly.
Yep, and as for the betting odds, it's an even slate, so minus 120. So who knows, what they're gonna do.
Well, it is in East Weatherford, and the weather will favor the Jets. At least that's probably that will work in their favor. But Miami, they got a lot to play for. I think they sort their 34 the last time they played in MetLife. So moving on to, and speaking of which, also the Dolphins will be new to scoreboard watching because simultaneously the game on CBS. We've seen the Broncos and the Chiefs, and well, Denver. Good news, it's at home and the Chiefs are resting their starters, and you have the last wild card spot, so you can control your own destiny. Question is, will you take advantage of it? Well, I say you will. So Broncos, I mean, it's going to be as I'd say it's going to be close. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I can definitely see something like that as well. So I would have to agree wholeheartedly. And Broncos are in the driver's seat this week at minus 600, and the Chiefs plus 400. So give me the same exact score just to be safe.
okay, all right. And keep in mind, though, yeah, the last time you played, we kept it close. We lost by 2, but came down to a field goal in the last minute. But hopefully this time the ball bounced in your favor, Denver. And last
Hmm.
but not least, the AFC West match, the last AFC matchup, I should say. I mean, that Chargers are the better team. Let's just get this out the way now.
And let's just get this out of the way now. He is right. So 37 for me for Chargers, and the Raiders will have, oh, I don't know, 10.
All right.
And the Chargers are minus 240, and the Raiders plus 200 for the betting odds. So moving on to our NFC playoff standings.
Yep. So again, I updated those. Minnesota and Detroit are 14-2. So get this. And we're going to touch this game shortly. There's going to be a chance of 14-win teams going to be playing on a wild card weekend. And who would have thought that at the beginning of the season? I did not.
Not me at all. And repeat that for the audience in the back.
Yeah, a 14-win team will be playing on Wild Card Weekend.
A 4-win team.
14.
14. Oh, 14-2 because of the what? Oh, yeah. See, I told you to repeat it.
Yeah. I'm glad you did. But yeah, this is how crazy. It's crazy how the 17-week schedule is. How it plays out, and here we are.
Yeah, and to think, 49ers are, you know, my Super Bowl, part of my Super Bowl prediction, and as you can see on the right hand side of your screen, they're watching from home. And I said last week, if you had to choose a team that could be part of the hunt, I would say definitely Carolina for sure because of those 3 games that they lost in close affairs.
Yep, and actually, they're not first on the list, but speaking of the NFC, so here we are. We start with the NFC East, which the Eagles won the division, still got a slim chance of getting home field, but it's well, actually, I think all eliminated with the Vikings. Well, they still got it. No, actually, scratch that. They did not. But they are playing for something. That means the single season rushing record. That means Saquon Barkley, if he chooses to play, and if he does, he has a chance, much to his chagrin, of surpassing Eric Dickerson's record for 1984.
Hmm, that's an interesting stat for Saquon and team. Um, I would say, looking at a prediction for this game, I think a lot of stories are going to rest up because the Eagles are in good shape. However, I think it's going to be a 21-7 victory for
Okay, so
Philadelphia.
Eagles should should make either way should make just have quick work with the Giants, so they'll have a say in the matter. So it's like last week, and I'm just pulling up his stats right now. So Saquon has 2,005 yards. Eric Dickerson, he's had in that year, 1984, he had 21,005 yards. So he's 1,000 yards away from tying it and 1,001 yards from surpassing it. So that's going to be tough for. Make sure I do my
Yeah,
math correctly here.
yep, and I think he could probably do that for
100 yards, excuse
sure.
me.
100 yards that he needs alone, so that's doable. Sure.
Definitely, but don't say he should sit out. The Eagles have, well, a lot into their playoff spot. But then again, heck, maybe he might play and he can get 100 yards easily. I mean, he wants to get
Oh yeah,
100
that's
yards
not
rather.
that's not even a debate. He can get those 100 yards in the first half alone and be fine.
Yeah,
But
plus he's
as we're
playing against his
speaking,
former team too.
yeah, so he's looking for something to feast on against his former team, that being the Giants. So, and speaking of feasting, the Eagles have a minus 145 advantage in the betting odds, and Giants have the plus 125.
Yes, they do. So moving on from that NFC East matchup to this one, where Dan Quinn makes his return to Dallas, because he was their defensive coordinator for the last for 3 seasons and top 10 unit. And that defense surely misses his own presence because the Cowboys defense this year was, well, one reason why they won't be in the playoffs in 20 this year. But keep in mind, the last time they played, the Cowboys upset Commanders in Washington. So, man, you won't go into the playoffs on winning notes. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be I'd say they win. They'll win it. It'd be a close score. We'll keep it close, pull away late. So I'll say they win by 10, 28-18.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like 27 to 17, something like that. So I would have to firmly agree on that. So firmly grasp it in your hands, Commanders. So the Commanders are minus 200, and the Cowboys are plus 170.
Yep. So moving on from that game from Jerry Roll to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where the Falcons, well, we're ready for you, Panthers. Ready to have an encore from what they did to them in Charlotte back in October, and they're ready for being first place and make the playoffs. And things work out in the game that's going on simultaneously in Tampa Bay. But having said all that, Atlanta, you're not going to fall apart at home with the division title on the line and a playoff spot on the line. So,
Yeah, I honestly, I
I
don't
think that'll be
see,
good
I don't
figure.
see, I don't see this. Hmm?
Nah, yeah, 34-17.
Okay, well, I don't see this game being close either. Um, I was gonna say maybe the same team, but I would say maybe they'll have Panthers will have like 10 points at the end of the day. So as for Atlanta, let me do some math. They can get their 38 points on the board.
All right. So, and what I'm seeing, this is going to be, they're going to show that Saints Bucks game here in Charlotte just for the heck of it. It's getting South titles at stake here.
Yep. And as for the betting odds, minus 425, and the Panthers plus 320. So there are your betting odds. So let's move on to the other NFC South team.
Yep.
Well, to keep my prediction for the NFC South alive, I'm definitely gonna can't keep Tampa Bay in the driver's seat. So, but by how much? I'm gonna say 27 to 14.
Well, last time they met, amazingly enough, both times the Saints and Bucks have played, or yeah, Saints and Bucks played the same as Falcons Panthers. I realized that when I was doing the research last night. It's like, they're playing on the same day once again this year. It's crazy how that worked out.
Most definitely. And Amir,
Yeah.
let me go over the betting odds real fast. And the minus 900 Buccaneers and Saints plus 550.
Yep. Buccaneers. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna score 51 like you did in New Orleans, but I'd say you're gonna score at least 30. So 34-14. And yeah, that was also Spencer Rattler's debut, and well, it's going in the same way against Tampa Bay in a loss. In Tampa Bay, we are 2024 NFC South champions in the division for the fourth year in a row.
Yeah. If so, let me get this straight, folks. So Amir, if the Falcons win and the Buccaneers win, would the Buccaneers have the advantage?
Yep, so they'll be 10-7. Atlanta will be 9-8.
Yep. So we need that to happen in order for my prediction to be a green check mark at the end of the day.
Ours too, because I picked Tampa to win the division as well.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So moving on, we have the Bears and Packers. That should not be close at all. I'm going to say they put up, I don't know, something crazy, 40 points to, hmm, they can score at least 21.
All right. I don't know the score 40, but I know the Packers should. Oh, it won't come down to a blocked field goal. So either way, they won this one rather convincingly. So yep, Green Bay will sweep the Bears once again.
Yep, and as for the betting odds, Packers minus 425 and the Bears plus 320. So not even close. So they should sweep them with no problems at all. And moving on to our 17th slide, we have the Commanders and, or not Commanders, we have the Cardinals and the 49ers. Well, they're both minuses, Amir.
Yeah, I mean, this game's probably not going to be. It's unless you're in the Arizona 49ers area, yeah, no one's going to be paying attention to it. I'm just going to say the Cardinals will get it done, and it could be a close game. What the heck?
Yeah,
Lots to play for. A lot of no playoff spots not playing for a playoff spot. There is roster spots and for them and for other teams, so they want to look good going into the off season. So I'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the 49ers actually to do good. So 28-24 is my prediction. Nothing to scream home about, but it's gonna be close. So it should be fun. But the 49ers minus 115 and the Cardinals minus 105. So interesting betting odds here.
Oh yeah. So moving on from that West matchup to the other one. So of course, Rams they're in first place, and that's due in large part to their big victory in Newman Field over Sundays for the election. So with Rams, they're going to the playoffs. Seahawks are out, but I say the Rams are gonna still may have to sweat it out, but they'll go in the playoffs on a winning note. So I'll say 27-20.
Yeah, 24 for me if you're Rams, and the Seahawks will have 17. Nothing to scream home about. Kind of a low scoring affair, sort of in the medium range. So, but as for the betting odds, minus 155 for the Rams, and Seattle has plus 135.
All right, and then the best game on the Sunday in Week 18 slate. There's no debate about that one. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Vikings at Lions, home field, division title, all on the line. NBC, you picked the right game for this Sunday night slot, and you're gonna get your money's worth. I say the fans of Motown will get their money's worth. So give me the Lions, 31-28. Another throw between the two teams. That had a big one back in October. Once again, the Lions will. Actually, you know what? Get even better. There we go. Yeah.
Well, to make things a little interesting to me, I just think I don't know. I mean, the Lions looked good last night. That's for sure. Or was it the Lions or
Yeah, Lions last night.
yeah, the Lions last night on Monday Night Football as of Tuesday. Since we are recording this, um, man, should I be? I'm gonna be different. I love what Minnesota's doing right now. Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson. I mean, the Lions have dealt with injuries quite a bit, but they find ways to succeed. But it's gonna be close, so I'm gonna pick Minnesota to win this one by 3. So, ooh, 37-34, and it's
Okay.
gonna be in overtime.
Overtime. Oh, all right. So either way, it's going to be decided by a field goal at Ford Field.
hmm So, betting odds. So the line. Excuse me. I get some water in me.
Good.
Sorry about that, folks. So minus 145 for Detroit, and the Vikings plus 125. So Lions are in the driver's seat right now, but the Vikings have something to say about
Oh, definitely. And that having said all that, that concludes Week 18. We'll be back next week. And before we wrap things up, we do also want to pay our tribute to pay another tribute to another person we lost last week. That being Mr. Greg Gumbel, who passed away this past Friday from cancer. Those who followed his career, he did NFL play-by-play for CBS and also covered the NFL for NBC and ESPN. And he's had the pleasure of calling many Panther, Colts, and Browns games. That last game called for the NFL was Brown Steelers in 2023. And he also called Panthers' first Super Bowl, albeit the loss to the Patriots. And I'm gonna miss. He will be missed in broadcasting and television in the industry.
most definitely, Amir. That's some really good words indeed, and yeah, and my thoughts and prayers are with him and the Gumball family, and had some memorable moments throughout the sports industry, and may he rest in peace for sure.
Definitely. And we also covered him in 2 episodes, our home finale and opening day one. You want to check those out? The card will appear in the upper right hand corner, and we link down in our description box, which is where you find this on Instagram, Wix, and was it Instagram and Wix? Is that it? Did I leave anyone else?
and and
Spotify. There
Spotify
we
as well.
go.
And Amir, lead into the most important thing for this segment. What's going to be our records?
Final record. I'm gonna say I'll go 12-4 again.
Yeah. Did pretty well last week, so and it got to be a little different, right? So, I can see myself going 13-3.
All right.
So there you have it, folks. That's the weekly pick segment, and for week 18, week 17 recap, and week 18 preview. And folks, like Amir said, follow us on Instagram at Doubleheader97, on Spotify at Doubleheader Podcast, and follow us on our Wix website for more information. Subscribe subscribe down below and hit that notification bell if you want to see some more updates from us. And with that being said, it is the last day of 2024. Have a safe and happy New Year, and we'll see you guys in 2025.
Yep. As he said, Happy New Year, and we'll see you guys in 2025. Thank you for being part of this journey.